Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of the K-12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank. We're going to be right back with this week's Think Tank guest, but as always, we want to give all of our sponsors a shout out. Now, these are companies that I used as an athletic director, every one of them, and they're great companies. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout outs, then listen to our Think Tank guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. We want to thank K-12 Sports Tech for all they do. K-12 Sports Tech actually helps athletic directors and sport vendors connect through education and hands-on consulting. Athletic directors are also invited to join the K-12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and help influence how companies shape their tech to better serve schools. To get started or to find out more, just go to k12sportstech.com. k12sportstech.com. We also want to thank our good friends at Hometown. Hometown is changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions for things like digital ticketing, fee-free fundraising, athletic websites, and more. Whether you're an AD, a coach, or a school administrator, Hometown makes it easy for you to save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. You can learn more at hometown.com. We'd also like to say thanks to Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. My assistant athletic director, along with thousands of others, got his master's through the Ohio program, and it was a great experience. It's very affordable, just 20 months, totally online. And while you're earning your master's, you're also completing 11 NIAAA leadership training courses at no extra charge. Go to ohio.edu/info/MAA to get started. We'd like to thank Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years. When I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school. Our coaches, all of our coaches, just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our student athletes loved the videos, and our parents loved the streaming, but there's so much more. Go to huddle.com, join the 8 million users, and turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards for all the teams, for all the different events, or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touchscreen video consoles. You put one of these in your gym lobby, your auditorium, anywhere in your school, it's going to become a magnet for your students, for your coaches, for your fans, alums, sponsors. You got to see it to believe it. Go to vitalsignswalloffame.com. Tell them you heard about it on the podcast. vitalsignswalloffame.com. We'd also like to say thanks to Snap Raise. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. It's hands down the best online fundraiser out there. We used it at our school with great success. Coaches loved it, parents loved it. I'm telling you, it works. Go to snapraise.com. You can check out their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. It's snapraise.com. We also want to thank Athletic Surveys. You know, athletic directors already get feedback, but a lot of times it's just from a small group that wants to complain. Athletic Surveys will connect you to that group, but they're also going to connect you to the 98% that supports your program. And having that type of data is incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent, maybe your principal, or even your school board. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. It's athleticsurveys.com. We'd also like to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day, whether it's scheduling, rosters, results. And even if your state association already has a platform for that, for me, the athletic clearance and eligibility feature alone is worth the price. Go to homecampus.com. Find out all the great things they can do for you. That's homecampus.com. We'd also like to thank Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Schedule a live web demo to see their products in action. Don't forget those video boards. Probably one of the best purchases I ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. That's sidelineinteractive.com. And we want to thank Gipper. Your students are on social media, and it's so easy for you to create world-class content to connect with them and share all the great things you're doing. Go to Gipper.com. It's used and trusted by over 20,000 high school and college programs. And whether it's a social media post to celebrate a big win or that entire newsletter to share those great things with your stakeholders, the Gipper team's going to have you up and running in no time. It's so easy, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com for more information. Make sure you mention the podcast. That's Gipper.com. Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of the K-12 AD Think Tank, sponsored by K-12 Sports Tech. We've got a great duo today. As always, Abby Emerson, the founder and the CEO of K-12 Sports Tech, is with us. And joining us is a good friend, Josh Mathews. If you follow podcasts, Josh is the co-founder, co-host of one of the longest continuously running athletic director podcasts, Hanging with the AD. He's also an outstanding athletic director in his own right. He's a certified master athletic administrator. He's the AD at Pope High School in Georgia. He's going to share a little bit about that. Also tremendously active at the state and the national level. He's on the NIAAA Board. He's a frequent presenter and speaker. So I'm going to jump in and say, Josh Mathews, welcome to the AD Think Tank.
Hey, thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me again. Abby, thanks for having me on this edition of Jake and y'all's podcast. It's great to be with you today. So always a pleasure to get to share with folks all over the country.
Okay. Well, again, we're glad to have you. It's the middle of the season. Winter sports are, heading to playoffs. Spring sports are cranking up. So thanks for spending time with us. Again, for listeners, if you're new to the show, Abby Emerson has a tremendous background in sports. I'm going to say it because she sometimes doesn't. She was an All-American athlete at a little place called Notre Dame. She's also founded two very successful companies. And as I mentioned, she's the CEO of K-12 Sports Tech. Abby, let's talk to that new listener that might not be familiar with K-12 or the think tank. Can you kind of, share, what it is and I guess why we're here on the podcast today?
Yeah. Jake, thanks for having me. Josh, great to see you.
Nice to meet you.
So the AD Think Tank is a group of forward-thinking athletic directors from across the entire country. We have members and these are members in over 40 states now. We have to update the count, but most of the states are represented. Alec had a screening call with an Alaska AD this week, so I think we're going to be adding Alaska soon. But ultimately, these are athletic directors that we bring on to consulting projects and connect them with innovative and mission forward companies that serve K-12 athletics. So we find these great companies and we put structure around these consulting projects, and we bring athletic directors from the think tank into these projects and get their expertise and guidance and insight, which is incredibly valuable to these companies, and it helps them ultimately better serve the K through 12 athletic space, which is our goal. We want all of this to impact the student athletes in the best way possible. And to do that, we're making these connections between the athletics and sports tech. And so far it's been incredibly rewarding and provided some high impact opportunities for both groups and ultimately the student athletes. So, yeah.
Yeah, great job. Thanks for sharing that. And it continues to amaze me that nobody else thought of this. I mean, what a crazy idea. Athletic directors are always, all year, every year, They're going to be, researching equipment, uniforms, purchases, and oh, hey, why don't we try to connect the athletic directors, with the vendors, and also connect ADs with other ADs. The networking feature of the think tank just continues to blow me away. Josh, share with our listeners a little bit about your school makeup, the size, location, the scope of the sports, and then how did you get involved? How did you hear about the K-12 Sports Tech AD think tank?
Yes, sir. So as you mentioned, I'm at Pope High School, Allen C. Pope High School in Marietta, Georgia. We're actually East Cobb, not necessarily incorporated Marietta. So just north of Atlanta, East Cobb between Marietta and Roswell, Georgia. Like I said, about 30 minutes, 20 minutes north of Atlanta. So we're in that metro Atlanta area. Pope High School has about 1,850 students. We're a 5A school in Georgia. Georgia has 6A. We're in the upper end of 5A, so kind of second tier as far as population. Great academic institution here, great college prep, rigorous school. Our students achieve at the highest level academically. It's unbelievable what they do. And then we've been fortunate to have some pretty good teams around here athletically. We see a lot of success because of the great coaching our kids get and the great athleticism and performance and training that they put in. So it's a wonderful place to be the athletic director. I get to go watch coaches coach and kids win a lot, and has nothing to do with me. And you see, I just sit here and check email and go watch games. So that's the best part of the job, right? And but as far as getting associated with K-12 Sports Tech, I had a buddy about halfway across the country reach out. We're buddies, and he had gotten involved with it and gotten the information, and he forwarded it on. And like you said, it was very new. We haven't seen a consulting opportunity from the athletic director getting to give back. We haven't seen that much in our world. And I've done this for 13, 14 years now, and this was a very new concept. And to get involved, Abby mentioned that little phrase, forward-thinking athletic directors. And if I hear that, I want to get in that room, because I wouldn't say I'm that person, but I want to be around those people. And that's what this was an opportunity to do. And it is wonderful to get kind of on the front end. I try to tell our coaches, be on the cutting edge. That's one of my priorities. Not that we're always going to change stuff every year, but I have 5 AD priorities, and one of them is be on the cutting edge. And if I'm going to say that to coaches, I feel like I need to be that myself. So to get opportunities to help vendors put together a new product or vet their new product and get to see it maybe for the first time, or maybe even before it's out there while it's still in production, that was really exciting to me. And that's what it's been, is been able to give feedback from boots on the ground to vendors, exhibitors, companies, whoever that is, of how they can make their idea fit what we deal with every day. So it's been a great opportunity to be a part of for the last few months, and look forward to just continued opportunity to be with those forward-thinking ADs and to help these companies be able to help us better do our jobs as well.
You touch on such a great point. Again, I retired a couple of years ago after 41 years, and so years and years ago, as an AD, as a head football coach, it was unusual to have a vendor. Maybe you bought footballs or you bought a scoreboard or whatever you bought. It was unusual to have the vendor actually say, well, how do you like the product? How can we make it better? They were great products, but that whole line of inquiry just wasn't there. And now, as you mentioned, to get on that front end, hey, we have this product, how can we make it better? And they're having those conversations with you and other members of the think tank. What are some of the projects that you have been involved with? And again, we don't necessarily have to mention names unless, Abby, you'd like us to, but what type of products have you had the opportunity to give feedback directly to those vendors?
Yeah, I think it's been vendors or companies that look into, I think the hot button is streaming and ticketing, those kind of things nowadays. That's kind of a lot of people in that space are getting in that space once COVID hit and everyone wanted to have the opportunity to stay at home and watch a game. And I know we're 5 years out of COVID, but all COVID did was speed up some of these technological opportunities that we had been slow to provide at the high school level. But streaming, ticketing, and then the other space that I've seen through K-12 opportunities to talk to, and I think this is one that a lot of different companies do, and it goes back to the other two I mentioned, but everybody wants to be a one-stop shop, and I think that's what we hear from a lot of vendors now. I want to be a one-stop shop. So to do that, now they got to get into forms and eligibility and transportation and that industry, I guess, that column. And so I've been able to advise on some of those areas, and then just did one recently about mental health. What's your involvement with mental health? Providing mental health not opportunities, but education and resources for coaches and their teams. And I think that's a great one to see where companies are going to be able to provide us help. And also to say, well, no, at our school, it might not work that way, or we may need it to do this or that. That one's really exciting. The other two, I feel like there's a lot of companies that have been able to provide feedback, but those markets are saturated. This mental health side, we need that. That's going to pick up steam and something we need help with as athletic directors. So to get the opportunity to provide feedback on mental health resources is really exciting.
Oh, you just took that word out of my mouth. I was going to say that is really exciting.
There you
And
go.
I love it when I hear teachers, mostly teachers, sometimes parents will say, "Oh, we have a mental health crisis." No, we don't. We have a mental health opportunity. We have a mental health challenge. These kids, and even you talked
Right.
about coaches and ADs. We're resilient, but if there's a better way to do something to help a student, to help a student athlete, to help a coach or an AD, hey, I'm all for it. It's an opportunity. Let's embrace those. Um, Abby, again, you founded one company. You founded K-12 Sports Tech. What's your feedback, I guess, to us? How's that first year been? And what are some things you're looking forward to in the future with not just the platform, but with the think tank?
Yeah. Well, first, Josh, thank you for doing such an amazing job articulating the value of the think tank and relating it to your personal involvement. It was really well articulated. I'm going to go back and
Thank you.
and and steal some of your language. But yeah, so last year was a building year for sure. It was okay. Our first member came on board in February. And it was okay, we need to build this community, build it, and we did it in a very intentional strategic way, which was through referral. The best way of growing something like this was with the rubber stamp from actual active members. So we were about 90% referral, the think tank, last year. So without any of those like general marketing outreach campaigns, which was amazing. So we have this stellar group of ADs. And then on the vendor side, it was aligning ourselves and getting the right vendor partners that knew that hey, we're building the plane while we're flying it. Is if you can be nimble and you're focused on customers and ADs, and we can, and you see the value of this type of program, then let's do this. And we're going to test some stuff. And this year, it's really about leveling up. It's more, we're creating some different think tank levels so we can open it up to be involved at like a starter level with filling out surveys and doing so their voice is heard in at least some capacity with whatever they can manage with their time. And then getting up to some of the leaders in the think tank who, like Josh, have responsibilities at the state level. And there's some more strategic projects that will be launching this year. The last thing I will say is that, well, there's two things. The vendor directory is another thing that we're building this year. It's the go-to place for athletic directors to find vendors and to see that key information right in one place. It's really hard, I think, to sort through sales emails and websites and really find the information that you need as an athletic administrator in a short amount of time. Our goal is to make that really clear and easy, and also for AD think tank members to be able to review those vendors so that and provide feedback and comments, and that'll be helpful for other athletic directors looking to find tools for their department. The last thing I will say is that the leveling up is not just with the numbers, but it's last year it was about connecting and exposing athletic programs to new tools that are innovative. This year, we are launching some programs that are actually are intended to help ADs manage all of that tech. So we're going from connecting them to tech to helping them manage that technology in one place, have one person to talk to for customer success. And it's like a one-to-many relationship. So we want to help, we want to be a resource of knowledge and information and webinars. We have content partners that we're building as well so that you can access information like the Positive Coaching Alliance, which is a new partner. They have some incredibly valuable resources that we'll be putting in the AD dashboard, the AD Think Tank dashboard. So that's what this year is about. It's a building. Last year was building to this point. This is really, making it sing, making it hum, and making it super impactful, and continuing to grow our value for administrators and for vendors.
Well, great stuff. And again, it's so cool to be involved, at the very beginning, at the ground level. You recently put out a social media post that the think tank's closing in on 500 members. And I think there's a little prize if you were the 500th one. If somebody's listening to this and they want to get involved with the K-12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and they're not already, how do they do that?
Thank you, Jake, for calling that out. Yes, it's our countdown to 500. We got some new ones, so we're about 20 to 25 away. That 500th member will get.
I may discontinue and then sign back up, try to take my chances, sign back up. I don't know what the prize is. I missed that, but maybe it's worth unsubscribing and subscribing.
Yeah, right. No, but the thing, you could refer, and the person that refers the member also gets the prize. So
I think that's what I'll be doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a call to action for our think tank members to reach back out to those ADs that were sort of maybe skeptical last year, but could use a
Abby, can you tell us how we refer someone?
Yep. So you could just send them to k12sportstech.com/join. And there's a referred field on there that they just fill out your name. Also on the AD Think Tank dashboard, you guys have some email templates that you can copy and paste. Kind of gives an overview of what you do and what the think tank is for current members. But yeah, if people are new, you can just go to that k12sportstech.com/join, or you can go to the website and there's a spot for joining to create an account. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. You got an opportunity to, help, grow the network, grow your own network. Josh, before I ask you to give out your contact information, just a reminder to our listeners, you have a tremendous resource here, not just in Abby, but in Josh Mathews, as I mentioned, co-founder, co-host of Hanging with the AD. If that's not already on your Spotify playlist for podcasts, you need to bookmark that. Also extremely active at the state and the national level. He's on the NIAAA board. Josh, if one of our listeners wanted to reach out, pick your brain a little bit about the think tank or about all the great things that you do at Pope, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can hit me up on social media, the X, Instagram. It's JW Mathews 14. Mathews is one T. Say it the way you spell it the way you say it. But Mathews one T there. The email, phone number. My email is joshua.mathews. Once again, Mathews. Joshua.Mathews@K12.org, COBBK12.org. or maybe the easiest thing, just shoot me a text or call me 404-431-8485, and we can connect that way. I'll be glad to help anyone anyway and add you to my contacts because I'll probably go back to you for something else. So, yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's a network. Well, Josh, thanks again for taking time out of your busy schedule to share with us. Abby, appreciate all the great things that you and Alec are doing with K-12 Sports Tech. And again, if you'd like to be on a segment like this, you got to join the think tank and then let Abby and Alec know, and we'll get you on. So as always, we appreciate everybody listening. We'll see you next time on the K-12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank. Have a great day.